Greetings, fellow freedom lovers. I am Tarrker the Newt, and welcome to my home. Today is going to be a short video. I wanted to talk about something very close, something near and dear to me. I've basically been serving my fellow humans my entire life. I'm also a very proud American. It's probably inverted, but it's whatever. So yeah, there's a saying that's really popular here in the U.S. Came out of the sort of like 40s, 50s consumer explosion and culture, for lack of a better term. And it goes, the customer is always right. I keep hearing this. The customer is always right. What does that mean? It sure as hell doesn't literally mean that the customer is never wrong. It's us saying it's meant to be a sort of guideline rather than a precise rule. And I'm just so tired of that being taken so literally. You don't mean that literally. Like when the British say the truth will out, they don't literally mean that nobody ever gets away with crimes, or that, you know, that like no lies ever go untold. It's just that you know, people usually find the truth in the end, you know, so you're better off just telling the truth from the beginning, right? That is exactly what I'm talking about here with the customer is always right. It doesn't mean literally the customer is always right. It doesn't mean that literally. Like this is what sayings are for. They don't mean they're literal terms, okay? We're not saying the customer is always right and never wrong. You know, if they walk in and say that it's dark out and it's the middle of the day, you know, you're not supposed to be like, oh, well, gosh, it really is nighttime. Thanks for letting me know. No, it means the customer always knows what they want. Even idiots know what they want. They might not be able to voice that right away. And the point is, you're supposed to listen to them, listen to what they're saying, look at what they're doing, and interpret what they need or want from that. You know, that's what that means. That's what that means. It's talking about basically business sense. You know, that's all it is. It's a literal. It's a sort of weird transcription of business sense. That's it. It doesn't mean fucking give Karen her free shit so that she can come back next week and then demand it angrily from the next manager, you know, and, you know, you're on vacation now, so you don't have to fucking deal with it. But, you know, Bob, who's never even seen this woman, now has to deal with her. Oh, the other manager let me do this. And sorry, I don't want to get too angry with this, but I'm just so upset at the way our culture in the United States has become so fucking twisted. Just this jingoistic, like, weird sense of duty in spite of the self rather than for the self. Like, duty is supposed to be for you. You know, you do your duty for yourself, to better yourself so that you're better. And then in turn, when you're better, you can help others to better themselves. Like, anyway, that's basically what I was trying to get through. It gets a little muddled the more you talk about it, and I'm like that too. And I speaking from experience. I'm not great with my words either. I have the ideas up here, but turning them into words that you then turn into your own ideas, and trying to get my idea and your idea to be the same thing. It's just, I'm no good at that. I never really have been. I'm getting better. I've become much better at it over the years, but, you know, so I'm just trying to say, I know what that's like. But hey, you know, it's whatever. I didn't mean to turn this into a weird political thing. I just wanted to talk about consumer culture in the United States, because I'm so close to it. And I'm hearing all this shit from online, and it's like, hey, I know something about that. I've been serving my fellow humans for over 30 years. I literally started at, like, I think age 12, give or take, maybe 10, 11, 12. I mean, it's not like I had a job at 12, but I was definitely going to those church functions and serving people spaghetti as if I were a waiter. People gave me tips. And, I mean, I was a waiter. I was waiting tables. I mean, my friend, I had a friend whose dad ran a general store. I mean, I helped them out. It was always that. There was always something like that going on in my life, or I was helping somebody with their store that they owned, or doing some church function, or some public function where I was serving people. And now I'm 42, so that's, 12 minus 42 is 30. So I've been serving other humans for 30 years. My thoughts are so jumbled and chaotic. But at least for, 10 to 15 minutes every couple of weeks, I can string together enough thought to bring you guys a video about my experiences and how they relate to the world at large. Yeah, the customer is always right. No, the customer is not always right. And we need to stop doing that, because what happens is, you get a Karen who comes into your store and, you don't want to deal with them. You've had a rough day. You don't know what tantrum these people have in store for you. Like, I get that. It's so easy in the moment to just be like, let someone else deal with this person further down the line. I'm not doing it today. You're really just putting off the inevitable. Like, in fact, you're giving them a reason to come back. If you give them free shit for being assholes, you're giving them an excuse to be an asshole in the future. And that's all you're doing. You're opening up a can of worms and asking your employees to have to deal with this asshole in the future. And it's not cool. It's kind of like, if you watch Saving Private Ryan, it's why the captain stops his squad to deal with the gun turret instead of just walking right by it. Duty is something we give ourselves, which is not to say that every job or every duty that you take on is worth it either. Somebody acts like an asshole to try and get free shit, and you give them the free shit, they're just going to come back and be assholes again, and they're going to keep doing it so long as you keep doing that and giving them what they want. And all it takes is like one person to be like, no, I'm not doing that. You need to get out, and hey, maybe you'll never see him again. It'll become somebody else's problem. That's the sad part is, it's like, even if you do say no, in the back of your mind, damn well they're just going to another place and doing the same thing. And it seems like a lot of these people are just, all their lives they've been told yes. They've been treated like princesses, or it happens to men too. It's something that happens to men too. Like, I have a brother who is very much a Karen. I have a mom who's very much a Karen, and I know exactly how that's caused. It's because everyone around them either refuses to argue with them when they're wrong, or just always tells them yes. And because they're so used to that, then they go to this place and here's this person suddenly telling them no, and actually arguing with them and telling them they're wrong and why they're wrong. Like, how dare you? Like, everybody tells me yes. Nobody ever argues with me. Who do you think you are to suddenly, tell me I'm wrong when I'm wrong? Like, that's just getting you inside the mind space of a Karen there for a second. That I understand, it's hard to even fathom what that must be like, to just never be told no, and when somebody argues with you, they just give up immediately because they don't want to argue with you. Stubborn, ignorant, and privileged people become Karens. Everybody I know that's like really, really stubborn, they weren't really taught that. There wasn't anything in their lives that kind of made them that way. They just are stubborn for whatever reason. But it's the other two that make the juicy Karen sauce that come together to make that juicy Karen people sauce. Because honestly, that's my brother. My brother, I've watched him grow from a baby Karen into an adult Karen to like a sort of enlightened Karen, if that makes sense. Because as a kid, yeah, the adults always agreed with him. And growing up, he was always stubborn and always refused to admit when he was wrong. Then he comes the adult Karen, where he's still that, I always get my way kind of person. And he's like straight up gets angry when people don't give him his way at places, and like he'll lash out, you know. He has anger issues. His adult life, when he became an adult and started having his own stuff, his own car, he had to shop for himself and all that, and so he had to do like the normal human thing where you have to learn how to sort of interact with people on this level. And oh my god, it was so bad. Yeah, he was just a typical Karen. And now we've become much older. He's, you know, he's in his late 30s. He's getting to be almost as old as I am. I think he's burned too many bridges at this point where he's starting to be like, well, shit. Starting to realize that this attitude is ultimately self-destructing. Like, yeah, he's being an asshole to people, but it's also destroying his life in a way as well. Like, I'm all but justifying my brother's behavior. Only when it hurt him did he bother to change. Like, that's what makes him a bad person, in my opinion. Well, made him a bad person. He's better now. He's not a bad person now. But, you know, the only way he could be forced to do anything good is if not doing it hurt him. I feel like that's probably the case with a lot of Karens. Before I end the video, there is something else we have to discuss. Marshmallow parents. They're what I call them. Some people like to say helicopter parenting, which can be. I call them marshmallow parents because they're parents who basically want to always feed their kids whatever they want. They want to just give their kids whatever they want, whenever they want it. What kid doesn't, you know, just want a marshmallow whenever? I feel bad because I know what that's like. You just want to be nice to your babies and treat them like babies, but they're not always going to be babies, and you're not just like, you got to turn them into a good person, and part of that is showing them that your actions have consequences. You know, like there's a line. You got to draw lines. And when they cross the line, there is a consequence for crossing that line. You got to learn to pick your battles too, but at the same time, if you're not drawing those lines and you're not giving consequences for crossing said lines, then you're just being a marshmallow parent, and you're creating a future Karen. You're stoking the fires for the bubbling stew that will eventually become a saucy Karen. But that's what I had to say today, guys. I'm sorry it took so long. I said it was going to be a short video. It ended up being one of my longer ones. Hopefully you understood at least half of what I was trying to say there. I'm just giving you an insight into something I see every day. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video.